Guys, hope you're doing great. I'm Jamal Builder from Mafundi Builders. And on this YouTube channel, guys, we talk all about affordable housing, how exactly you can be able to build your 1 bedroom, your 2 bedroom, your 3 bedroom, your bed sitters, your 1 bedroom apartment, and all these type of structures at a very affordable rate. Guys, one of the things that I've always got is that, how much exactly is going to cost me to build a 3 bedroom house? And that is one of the questions that so many people will actually be asking me. And so on this video, guys, I'm going to try and give you the cost of the foundation, right? Because I don't want to give you the whole cost of a 3 bedroom, right? So I'm going to give you just the foundation. Maybe in the next video, I can give you the cost of wiring, the cost of roofing, the cost of doing the finishes, and all other things. But then let's look at the foundation. But guys, before that we continue, we have to understand what exactly will determine the cost of this foundation to be different from the another person's foundation. The first one, guys, always is the area. Right? So we know very well that if you build a very big house, it's going to cost you a lot of money, right? So another thing, guys, that makes the foundation to be costly or cheaper is the type of soil. The type of soil, ile mchanga iko kwa shamba yako, sio? So if you have, for example, black cotton soil, the foundation cost will be high because then you have to do excavation. You understand? So the more you do excavation, it means that the cost will be high because then ile mawe ya foundation unatumia itakuwa mingi, na bado when it comes to backfilling, you're going to do a larger backfilling. The materials you're going to bring onto the site. Another thing that is going to affect the cost of your foundation is actually the topography. Topography simply ni slope. Venye side yako it is sloping, kama side yako it is very sloping, it's going to cost you more money. Kama side yako inakaa hivi, ukijenga foundation itakuwa expensive. But kama side yako it is relatively gently flat, the cost of foundation itakuwa very low, because then you don't have to. You see what happens when you have a foundation which is slope is that on the lower side we will have to bring it up so that then if it gets side so trying to balance that's where now the whole cost. And sometimes you might need to retaining wall, you might have to do columns, you might have maybe to do ground beam, tie beam, and all other things for that foundation to be safe. You understand? So if you want to build affordable, you have to ensure that the land that you are buying, particularly if you are buying land, it's not an ancestral land. You need to buy a land which is relatively flat. Look at the type of soil in that land so that then you don't start building on you are increasing the cost where else you had the option of buying in another place. You understand? So it's very most important to look at that. Another thing, guys, that is going to affect the cost of your foundation of your 3 bedroom is the type of material. The type of material that you are going to use. So guys, remember that the type of material will be determined by the where you are. For example, let's say if you're using bricks for the foundation, your foundation will be cheaper rather than somebody using the maybe foundation blocks. No. So somebody using foundation blocks, the foundation cost will be high because of the price. You see, for example, bricks, one brick, for example, a standard 3 bedroom, you will need around 3,000 bricks. Let's say even 3,000 for the foundation only. One bricks, let's give it an average of 10 shillings. I know in Western it's around 8 shillings, right? But let's use a relative value of around 10. But mostly it's 8. So let's work with 8, which is 8 shillings per brick. So you have 3,000 times that. Then you have foundation blocks. For a standard 3 bedroom, you need around 1,200 feet. Those ones are actually measured in feet, guys. So what will happen is that what is the cost of this one? So foundation blocks, the foundation, the bluestone, it cost around 50 shillings per feet. So what will happen? So if you multiply these, the foundation blocks that cost around 60,000, whereas the bricks that cost 24,000. So you see already you have a difference of 36,000 just because of the type of material that actually you are using. So I would highly recommend. But then remember that it's the type of material that you use, it has to be locally available. So for example, if you're in Kiambu or in town, it is more economical to use the foundation blocks because they are readily available. right? When you are in places like Western, bricks are readily available. So you can actually go ahead and actually use bricks. You see, so the location also matters. In terms of the materials, it is the location that matters. Because also where you are, the location also determines the transportation cost. The same person might buy at 50 shillings, another person will buy at 60 shillings because of the transportation cost. Because remember, materials are the same. The only difference now comes in because of transport. So those are the four things that are going to affect the cost of foundation. So in this case, guys, so area in this case, guys, that's why I've written here 80 to 100 meters squared over 3-bedroom house, which is actually it's a good space, spacious house. So the foundation. So what are the materials that guys you need? So first you need sand. So buy one tipper, one only. That is one tipper. So this one is going to cost you 30,000, right? You need ballast. Ballast, guys, I will say also you can buy in lorry, buy one tipper. The reason why, guys, I'm telling you this, don't buy materials in tons, because if you buy in tons, for example, like in a Tetoshare foundation peke yake, it's going to be more expensive rather than when you buy a whole lorry. A whole lorry will be relatively cheaper, right? So this one might cost around 30,000 also. But also, guys, remember that these prices will depend on where you are. Sometimes this one it might be 35,000. So it will depend on. And also, guys, remember that this will also depend on the type of rolling that actually you are requesting the material with. So this is a rolling maybe which will have around 18 tons, right? So then foundation blocks. Foundation blocks for 80 meters squared, you need relatively around 1200 feet. This is feet. And in this case, guys, I'm talking a site where you are going only 4 courses, not more than 4 courses, right? Between four courses, 4 courses. So foundation blocks, this one, let's say you buy at 50 shillings. So this one will be 16,000. Another thing, guys, that you need, remember, guys, that we want to calculate the materials. Another thing, guys, you need here is what? You need a hardcore. Now, hardcore will depend on the site and your course. So there, if you are on a site which has red soil, you can actually do the backfilling. Then you can do the backfilling. Then you're going to bring now the hardcore and now the maram. So what will determine is the depth. Understand? So in this case, let's assume that you're going to do 150. Right, because probably you are on a red soil. So this one, I will say you can have a budget of around 25,000. Yes, let's work with 2 lorries. One lorry for hardcore, one lorry for malams. So assuming that each is around 9,000 or 10,000, so we can work with 20,000. Now, there are things which will be constant. For example, sand, ballast, easy as it change, but things like the hardcore will change depending on one side to the other, and it will depend on the depth of the foundation. So if you are backfilling, if you need more hardcore to fill up that space, then you're going to need more lorries, you see. So in this case, let's assume the cost will be 20,000. So you might find sometimes this is actually medium. There is what exactly that we call there is what we call mchongo. So if you ask the people providing you the materials, they can actually, that's why we have debris that actually you can get from other construction site, which you can bring on your site, and then zikuje zikongagongwe. So there are all these different ways in which you can be able to work to reduce the cost. So sometimes the hardcore you can actually even buy at 6,000 if you actually buy them mchongo. And mchongo inakwanga mostly is the debris. Sometimes, yeah. So we have the mchongo and also the debris. So mchongo it's kind of light. Now then we have the debris inatokanga from construction site. For example, places like Kisiri, we have Westlands, where exactly we have a lot of demolitions. So if you can be able to connect with those guys when you are on a marodi, then they can be able to bring you that. Or else you can actually call us, and then we can, because we have all this kind of connection with the people who can actually bring you those materials. But then most of these things will depend on the location. So if you are very far away from, for example, let's say from Isiri, because most of these things will actually be taken to dumping site. Or else if you have somewhere you want to do the backfilling, you understand? So that is the whole nature. So that will depend. So that one you can find for the alternative. So let's use at 20,000. 1,000 for the backfilling. So guys, we also need cement. You also need cement. So cement, guys, for a 3-bedroom, this one, foundation, and I'm talking about foundation mpaka ukoroge hapa juu. You you ukoroge hiyo slab. You are going to need between you're going to need between what? Between 70 to 80 bags. 70 to 80 bags. I'm saying there is a between because of one, because of area. You see here we are talking 80 to 100. So you can actually have between 70 to 80 bags. That will be good enough. So each bag is around 800. So let's work with what? Let's work with 70. So we are talking about 56,000, right? 56,000. What else do you need? Guys, you need DPM. So the DPM is actually the damp proof membrane. Hiyo ni karatasi ile ya black. So for this one you need 2 rolls. 2 rolls. So this one will cost you, each is 2,500. So here you need another 5,000, right? Another thing, guys, you need, you will need the hoop iron. The hoop iron, here I will say you can buy 1 roll. So 1 roll is around 3,500, right? So these prices might be up or down depending on the hardware that you buy. So another thing, guys, you need is anti-termite treatment. Anti-termite. So the anti-termite, guys, you can buy this one. Buy around 1 liter is around 2,500 shillings. So what else, guys, have we not added here? So sometimes you might need steel depending on the number of columns that you have. But because now we are not talking about the columns that you're going to have on your site, so I think these are the materials that you're going to need on your site, guys. So these are the materials. So once you have all these materials, you can go ahead and actually, now let's see how much exactly this will cost. So this is 16, this is another 60, this is 20. So how much, guys, is that? That I think is 140,000. So we have 140. We have what? We have 56,000, right? So 6. This is 9, 1. We have 85. We have 85. So 5, 4, 1, 0, 2. 205.4, and also you will need anti-termite treatment, that is 2.5. So this is 206 point, this is 207, right? So here you have 207K, right? So the only thing, guys, we have not added now, those are the materials, guys. So materials for foundation. The only thing, guys, we have not added is actually the steel bar. In this case, guys, I'm assuming that you're going to do, let me show you now where. So that is 207. Those are the basic materials for any 3-bedroom, right? So I'm not talking about it has any kind of a special, it has, I don't know what kind of foundation or anything. If you're going for 4 courses, you're going more likely to use around 207,000 for the foundation, a 3-bedroom house. But guys, this is the thing. Remember that, guys, some of the materials bado zitabaki. You understand? So for example, the sand that you bought, the ballast, hiyo itabaki bado, na hiyo mchanga itabaki. So hiyo inaweza jenga mawe maybe like another 3 courses ukijenga darugu. So it will cost you around 207 to do the foundation of a very standard 3-bedroom. A standard 3-bedroom. So tumeona ni 2007. Now, guys, the other materials you might need, now that will depend on how your soil and the foundation of your house is, right? So you might have, pale ukieka mitaro, you might have to use strip footing. Hii strip footing ukikoroga, you might need to use steel. Your steel is zinakuanga chuma 3, so we use like this. So you have, when you're doing the concrete, utaweka chuma hivi, then utakuwa na chuma 3 hapa. Most hizi chuma zitakuwa D10. No. So you have to consider if in case you need the D10, so D10 utatumia. No. So let's assume, guys, that's but I don't want to go into those details because those are now mathematical equations. We are going to how to calculate all these. But you can have at least for that, you might have another 30,000. if now you are going to use a straight footing, right? So that is 1,000. Another thing, guys, you might find is that when you are building the foundation, there are places where you might have to have columns. Maybe on the entry porch, maybe you have like 3 columns. That one you need steel. Remember, we have not considered that in this 2007. So I would say if then you're going to use steel and do the casting, you're going to spend around 250,000. So if we add steel, so this is 207k, we can add 50,000 for steel. And remember, hatujaweka timber formwork, senior timber formwork, but I'm assuming other things you have. These are the materials that you're going to need. So that will be around 207 plus around 50,000. So let's assume that now once kama unaweka chuma anywhere, there is a chuma foundation, kuna chuma and all that, because kuna watu waikangi, you can have now 250k. So if you have this budget for a 3-bedroom, you have all the materials that you need. But guys, did I say this is the fix? No, this is not fixed. It can actually go all the way to 150, depending on so many things. Where you getting your materials, who is supplying you. Probably you have a rolling. The cost of material will be very cheap. You understand? So that's why the question of how much does it cost to build a bedroom inakuanga ni ngumu sana. I always explain this to people that it is very hard to really give somebody that when ukue na 300,000. It will depend with so many things. You see, so but if you have a budget of between 200,000 to 250,000, you can actually go, you have a very good foundation for that. In this case, guys, remember, I'm talking about you're using foundation blocks, because kuna watu wengine wanatumia bricks. So if you're using bricks, that cost will be cheaper. You understand? So that cost might be cheaper. For example, even inclusive ukieka chuma sasa, you see, there is a hesabu yenye tulifanya tukaona we have a remainder of 36,000. So that person, because now here we are using this because of steel and everything, you will find that this person anatumia 200 na ameweka chuma already because ametumia bricks. Umeelewa? So that's the whole difference. But if unatumia foundation block na unaweka chuma huko kwa foundation, I would highly recommend that you have a budget of between 200 to 250. So it might be around 220 on all that. But that area we're talking about 80 meters square to around 170, between 80 meters square to around 100 meters square. So that will vary depending on the material. So guys, see you in the next one. I hope now you understand how exactly to go about your foundation, what exactly is the probable cost to build here in Kenya when you're building your foundation. Now, on the next video, guys, we're going to look at the walling, because once you're done with the foundation, the next important thing you're going to build now is the wall pattern. So see you in the next one. I'm Jimo Vera.